Hello, welcome back to the round 13 tips and predictions for this weekend. Of course, only 7 games this weekend in the NRL, but I'm going to kick off with Origin Game 1 Wednesday night. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I am so excited. If you're just running around an oval or you're just running down the duck park or running anywhere or just walking, State of Origin Day, what I love to do is go on YouTube and type in State of Origin theme and it just pumps me up. I look at my arms, I get goosebumps. It's just like, remember the old Channel 9? They used to play it in the background when Gus Gould would do his final walk and it's like, duh, 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 duh. Probably nothing like that, but I tell you what, it gets me. Oh man, it gets me so pumped up. I would run through a brick wall for no good reason just when I hear that song. It's so good. So if anyone, just the song, guys. If you're rugby league diehards like me, I wish Channel 9 would use it again. They use a lot of Hans Zimmer stuff now, which is good, but it's just not the same. I love that. I love that State of Origin theme. If you know what it's called, by the way, I think it's from the old WWE back in the early 90s or mid 90s. I'm pretty sure it's. If you know what it's called, please let me know because I can't find anywhere what it's called. But I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. All right, tips round 13. Here we go. I'm tipping the Blues. Am I biased? Yes. Am I just sick of Queensland winning? Yes. Do I genuinely think they'll win? Fuck, I don't know. I'm just going to tip them. All right. I don't know. Am I confident? No, I'm not, to be completely honest with you. But at the end of the day, I reckon they can win at home. So hopefully they win game 1. All right, the Cronulla Sharks and the Manly Sea Eagles. I'm tipping Cronulla to beat Manly in this game. Nico Hines is out. I think that's a huge loss for the Sharks. But in saying that, I think Braden Trindle's game might go to another level in this game. Niue Puru is a really good young half coming through at Cronulla. He's played some good football in his recent few games of NRL. We saw him a couple of weeks ago as well. I love what he's about. I think Cronulla at home might beat Fosball this weekend. It makes me very sad to say, but I think as good as Manly have been over the last couple of months, I'm sorry if you can hear the rain just pouring down in the background if that's making noise, but as good as Manly have been the last couple of months, I don't think they're going to get Cronulla here. I think you're going to have Haumole Kawatu and Tolu Taukola coming back into the side, which is no guarantee that they'll play. They've been named as a reserve, but even if they don't play, that's going to not be good for Manly. And if they do play, they're playing 48 hours after an Origin game. So, they're probably not going to be 100% fresh, are they? So, I don't know. I know Adam Fanua Blake's playing Origin. Blake Brayley will get a go as well. So, I get that, but I don't know. I just think at a packed Cronulla game. That Cronulla need to win this. Like they need to win this. So I think it's fair to say that they've been very inconsistent so far in season 2026. I genuinely believe this is a game they need to win if they are going to go on and make finals for the rest of the year. The second game of the year, Friday night football, Super Saturday, I should say. Yeah, it's only the one Friday night game this week. The Knights and the Parramatta Eels. I love Newcastle in this game. No Mitchell Moses. Isaiah Iongi returns for the Parramatta Eels, but I just love Newcastle. I love Fletcher Sharp in the centres here. Sandon Smith in the halves alongside Dylan Brown. I don't know. I just think Newcastle could win this and win this really, really big. Trey Mooney has been one of the best front rowers of the season so far, not just for Newcastle, but just in the NRL in general. And I know he's come from the Canberra system. He did good work there last year, but he's just been incredible this year. I really congratulate him and the work he's done at Newcastle. Dylan Lucas, he's been named in the Origin squad, but I doubt he'll get a go in this Origin game, so I think he'll be fresh, ready to go. I just really love Newcastle in this game. I think they're going to win and win really big, to be completely honest with you. I think Mitchell Moses is obviously a huge, huge blow without a doubt. The next game is the West Tigers versus the Canterbury Bulldogs. I'll be honest with you. I think I'm going to go the Dogs in this game after looking at both lineups. I understand Apisai Coruscant's back into the game. I think, Taylor May's a huge loss for the Tigers. I really do. Jareen Buller, great to see him named in there. But they are still missing, Adam Dewey, Fainu, Samuel Fainu, and the back row was a huge, huge loss I don't know. They're still missing a couple of players, even though they've got some players back into the squad. They are still missing a fair few players in this game for me. To be honest, I think Canterbury would have gained a lot of confidence from last year. I think Stephen Crichton will be a guaranteed to play in this game if he gets through Origin fit without any injuries. I just think the Dogs. I think if Melbourne beat the Dogs last week, I would go the Tigers. But I genuinely believe this is a game that the Dogs can win. I think they will win at CommBank Stadium. Expect a huge crowd on Super Saturday for this game. I think it's going to be a really tight game. It could be 2 or 4 points in it. But for me, I'm going to go Canterbury in that game. I really love Jacob Kiraz at fullback. I expect Matt Burton will be fresh and playing in this game. I doubt he'll get a go in Origin, even though he'll be on the six-man bench. I love what Kurt Mann has done a dummy half last week against Melbourne. Leo Thompson's been really good since he's returned for them. Jacob Preston, I understand he's a loss for them, but at the end of the day, I love Harry Hayes being named at lock forward. Jamin Salmon as a ball-playing back row, I think is going to suit the way that they need to play. Bailey Hayward was fantastic off the bench for them last week as well. So I really love what they're about. And of course, one of my favourite Bulldogs players I've ever seen in my life, Jack Underhill on the bench. He's been fantastic. He's just Aidan Tolman, James Graham, he's just them combined. He's absolutely fantastic. He's tough. He's resilient. He's just what the Bulldogs are all about. So I don't know. I think the Dogs get them here. Connor Tracy expected to return. Where will he play? If he does play, I don't know, maybe he goes on the wing. I don't think you can move Kiraz from the fullback position after the work he did last week against Melbourne. I think fullback's his best position. He's come out and said that only 2 years ago. I think Connor Tracy will play in this game alongside Stephen Crichton. Connor Tracy, the number 22, Crichton, the 23. I think they'll play, but I don't know where Connor Tracy will play in this game. It's going to be interesting to see. They're possibly on the wing, as I mentioned. The other game, Super Saturday, the Melbourne Storm and the Sydney Roosters. I'm going to go the Storm in this game. An upset. I think the Dogs are an upset as well. I'm going to go a super duper upset Saturday this weekend. I just think Melbourne's record against the Sydney Roosters in recent years has been phenomenal, especially in Melbourne. I think it was back in 2022, late 2022, the Sydney Roosters beat a red hot Melbourne Storm side. But apart from that, I think they've had really good results over the Sydney Roosters in recent years at Amy Park. And I understand you may look at me and think, well, Melbourne have been shit this year. They've been really disappointing. The results really don't count for much this year. The recent results in years to come really haven't proved to be anything this year. I'm gonna say that they're gonna get the job done here. I love Farlago at fullback. I think James Tedesco, at the end of the day, is around 33, 34 years of age. So after playing an 80-minute Origin and then playing only 72 hours later, I don't know if he will be 100% fit, to be completely honest with you. It also wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't play in the game, if they decide to rest him. I know might be a weird call, but I don't think the Roosters are desperate to win games like other sides are. They've been one of the impressive sides of the competition. If that's the case, Cody Ramsey could possibly play fullback there as well. But I'm not sure. I'm just not. They've got a young guy called Bassingthwaite. Is it Rex Bassingthwaite? I have to have a look in it. But he's expected to be their long-term fullback, from what I've been hearing in the Roosters system, out of the Roosters media at the moment. There's big raps on him. I watched him play in the preseason challenge as well. So he's not named in the squad here for this game. But I don't know. It just if Tedesco didn't play in this game, it wouldn't surprise me. That's just my opinion. But see how we go. He may very well play. I just think Melbourne get the job done. I didn't like what I saw from the Roosters at all against the Cowboys. They should have won that and won that big. They should have won that by 30 plus, in my opinion, with the squad they got. They had all the momentum going into it. They were really disappointing in this game. If the Roosters are seriously going to win this competition, if they're going to show their fans that they have what it takes to win the comp, they need to win this game against a Melbourne side that have struggled this year so far. It's going to be a really good game of football. I think it's going to be a really high quality game of football. But I think the Melbourne Storm will get it done. I don't know. I just can see Melbourne going on a bit of a run. I just can't see Melbourne missing out on the 8 for some reason. So I think they'll win some of the games that they won't be expected to win from now on. I think expect Melbourne to go to another level. I think Munster and Grant will play because they are not as desperate. They are more desperate than the Sydney Roosters, who are not as desperate for wins, considering how impressive they've been in the first half of the season. So expect yeah, I expect Grant and Munster to be certainties in this game, to be honest, if they get through Origin. The first game of Sunday afternoon football, the Broncos and the St. George Illawarra Dragons at Suncorp Stadium, 2 p.m. You can catch this on Fox League and KO Sports. I'm going to go the Dragons. No, I'm joking. I'm going to go the Broncos here. I think the Broncos are going to have their biggest win of the season here. If you're a Broncos fan, get to Suncorp Stadium. I think this is going to be one of the biggest wins of the season for Brisbane. I think Reece Walsh will have his best game of the season so far. Probably the best game we're going to see of his career so far. I know that's a huge prediction, and I know what he did in the grand final last year, and the final season last year was almost unbeatable. But I think this game could be, when we look back at his career in 15, 20 years from now, or longer than that. I mean, he could play for another 15 years. He's only 23 or something, 24. He could play to his late 30s, I reckon. I think this could be a highlights package of Reece Walsh. I genuinely believe this could be one of the best games of his career when he looks back. What I've seen, this is a daytime game at Suncorp Stadium where the Broncos play their best football, right? The weather's meant to be good. And the Dragons, from what I've seen from them, they are a club full of players that have consistently given up through the year. They don't know how to play for 80 minutes. They are jersey grabbing, which I do not say when I watch NRL teams, but they are jersey grabbing. They're not tackling. The attitude stinks of the play. So I feel really bad for Dragons fans from what I've seen from them. As I mentioned on the review show, they're a team full of experience. They have the good leadership in there. They've got a 2022 grand final captain, Parramatta captain, Clint Gutherson, in at fullback. He may not be the Gutho of then, but his leadership and experience certainly counts for something. But we're not seeing effort from a lot of their players. Valentine Holmes has been lacking effort, but I love what I'm seeing from the Dragons and their younger players. Hamish Stewart, Dylan Lucas, Toby and Ryan Couchman. The future looks good for the Dragons. If I'm a Dragons fan, this year's probably wooden spoon a write-off, but next year, I'm really excited for you guys. I really am. I genuinely mean that too. I just don't, every week I try and skip through the Dragons. I don't like to bag them and talk much about them because I feel so sorry for their fans. I feel so sorry for the club. But in saying that, I look at the players. I'm not feeling sorry for them. They're letting the fans down. They need to show effort and consistency. Now, if they can lose by around 12 to 18 points in this game, I think the Dragons take it. If I'm Dean Young, if I'm the Dragons fans, I look at the Dragons players this week and I say, you wear that jersey. You're representing every single Dragon that's worn that jersey in the past. You're representing the club, the people that support you. You go out and you play like a Dragon and a true St. George Illawarra Dragon. That's what they need to do. They need to wear the jersey with pride. Keep it simple. Simplify the game. Complete your sets. Kick to the corners. Kick chase. Defend. Don't miss your tackles. Simplify the fucking game for the Dragons. Simplify it as much as you can and build from then. And once they get a win, I reckon they could grab a few wins for the rest of the year. If they get a win. Fuck, I hope so, please. I think they will. I think it's bullshit talk that they won't. I think they will for sure. Sunday afternoon football, the Canberra Raiders and the North Queensland Cowboys at GIO Stadium, 4:05 p.m. You can catch this on 9 Fox League and KO Sports. I am going to go here. Canberra. I don't know why. I just have a feeling the Raiders will learn a lot from last week against the Dolphins. They were really disappointing. If the Dragons lose this, sorry, I'm so used to saying the Dragons at the moment lose. If the Canberra Raiders lose this game, I think you almost put a line through them. They are playing for their season here, Canberra. And I know if they lose this game, they can still mathematically make the finals. But boy, oh boy, if they lose this game, they're going to make it very, very hard for themselves. They need to win this game. It is desperate times for this game. I think this may be one of the first games for the Cowboys we may really notice the loss of Tom Dearden. I know they've proved many people wrong, including myself, by betting the Roosters. I did tip them last week against South Sydney, but I think this game could hurt the experience, leadership, and just what Tom did and brings to any football side. I think we may see the Cowboys get their first lost in a little while. I think the Raiders. It'll be like a grand final for them. They have to win this game. It is now or never for Canberra, and that's what Ricky Stewart will be saying to them. Ethan Strange expected to be the first option now for 5/8 for New South Wales, but expect him to play with a 5-day turnaround after Origin. Expect him to play in this game if he pulls up all right. The final game of the round is between the Penrith Panthers and the New Zealand Warriors. I'm going to tip the Wars in this game because this is my prediction. I do not think that Nathan Cleary, Isaiah Yeo and Brian To'o will play in this game. I can't understand why they would play them, if that makes sense. Like, if the pattern continues over the years, I know Ivan Cleary has played his players in Origin rounds as well, but even last year when Penrith really struggled in the first half of the year, they went to New Zealand for halfway through the year, and they rested all their Origin players. At times, Ivan Cleary wants to rest players when he possibly can. He understands it's a marathon, not a sprint. He understands it's a long season, and even though on the reserves list, Brian To'o, Isaiah Yeo and Nathan Cleary have been named in I think the 21, 22 and 23 jerseys, I do not think they'll play. I cannot see Ivan Cleary playing them. That's just my prediction. I might be wrong. I just don't think they'll play. I think the Warriors will win this game. I think it's going to be a really close game, and we see what Penrith can do without their star players. They can win games and win games well. But the Warriors have a system in place as well that Andrew Webster has brought to the side since 2023. He's learnt a lot under Ivan Cleary in the Penrith system there, going through grand finals with the other assistant coach at the time, Cameron Serraldo. And for me, I think the Wars get up here. I think they win. And for me personally, this could genuinely be the 2026 grand final preview. This very much could be the 2026 NRL grand final for this year. So there's a big side to me that hopes that Cleary and Yeo and Brian To'o will play. For me, as I mentioned, I just can't see it. I think Cleary will rest those players. But in saying that, I would love to see them play, because then we could have a bit of a teaser, a bit of a movie trailer, hey, of highlights for a grand final possibly later in the year, which would, of course, be the Warriors' first grand final since 2011 and their third grand final in history. Of course, their first grand final was their grand final loss to the Sydney Roosters back in 2002, which was actually the first grand final I ever watched. A great grand final, wasn't it? Ivan Cleary was fullback, actually, for the Warriors back then. So there you go. All right, they're my tips for round 13. Remember, guys, I'm on iTip Footy. My points are based on... my tipping points are based on betting odds. So, for example, say if Parramatta are $5 against Newcastle, and say Newcastle are $1.17 or something, and I think Parramatta might win, I'll tip Parramatta. I genuinely tip, though, who I think will win. If you're trying to chase upsets this time of the year, just to get points, I think the longer the season goes on, the longer it probably, you might go up a couple of weeks, but you're going to fall back down quickly if you tip upsets all the time. So I think the aim, guys, is to be consistent with your tipping. I always try and aim for about 6 out of 8. I've done that 5 times this year. And we're going into round 13. So, look, I'll take it, considering how fucking awful my tipping was last year. So I'll take it, but there you go. They're my tips for round 13. My name is Connor Moran. If you don't know me yet, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram if you want me to add anything in the podcasts. If you agree, disagree with anything, hey, guys, some of you have disagreed. You leave a comment in there, and I really appreciate anyone that disagrees as well. I just want this podcast to have a community where everyone can feel comfortable sharing their opinions without getting criticised too much or anything like that. There's no bullshit, no dickhead policy on this podcast, so feel free to add anything you believe should be said in the podcast, in the comments. I want to hear your strong opinions if need be, as long as it's respectful from everyone, then we're all good to go. So thank you very much for listening. Please follow me on Spotify and the Apple Podcast apps. That is the Rugby League Forecast Podcast, and on YouTube as well, Rugby League Forecast Podcast. You can also follow me on Facebook and what's the other one? Instagram. I can't keep up with it all. Get my sister to sort out a lot of the social media side of things. I'm fucking useless with it all, seriously. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Cheers.